Hey, it's Tuesday now, and I'll be back at you a little bit more, the 9th of November. What's going on, people? Well, I'll tell you what's happening with me today. After I get off of this, I'll finish my coffee and have a little breakfast, and I'm going to be spending the morning trying to knock out the bass part for that I've been assigned for the next Mana Mirage album by Dave Newhouse. He sent me a track, and been listening to it, and it's nothing difficult, but it's like it's open, where it's like it's asking me to interpret, and so that's where the work and the creativity and the good challenges is to create a bass melody for this track. So that's my plan for the day, to work on that. Um, Enjoy reading your comments, and I pretty much really veer away from specifically doing my videos based on requests, because that would just really get old. So I'll share this. Someone was asking about more Johnny Griffin. Well, I'll do it like this. My dad and his mom, my grandmother, I don't mind sharing, had some sort of involvement with running a whorehouse in Chicago that apparently was pretty popular. And that this was, besides my dad being a young music student, he was in that milieu, that atmosphere around that, because necessarily his mom's running the biz. And this was another outlet for him to be exposed to interesting people. So my memory, I have a lot of very vague memories. So the only ones that I will endeavor to share are the ones that I can tell you for sure. So, for example, the first time that I encountered Johnny Griffin was as a toddler in Chicago, one of the first times we went to Chicago. And on that same trip, I remember Nat King Cole. Now, it makes sense because Nat King Cole also ended up in Omaha for a short time doing something like hiding out or something. And apparently he knew my grandmother. And so I remember brief encounters with Nat King Cole. The other one that I remember well, but as I got older and started to realize who John Coltrane was, it was almost like, did that really happen? My God, John Coltrane, really? He came to our house? He did. My dad was familiar with John Coltrane. Apparently, through the same, well, my dad knew a lot of people, like I said, Johnny Griffin and he were like brothers. But one time, John Coltrane was traveling through Omaha, and I was maybe 6 or 7 at the time. I've told this story before. And he came to the house. I remember him eating with us. And I also remember sitting on his lap for a minute. I think I was maybe 6 years old at the time. He was very nice. And the culmination of the visit was that my dad was going to buy a single that he had just put on an album, and there was a single, and they were going to go down to the local record store and buy. My dad was going to buy a copy of the single, and I got to go along. And John Coltrane held my hand at the record store. Someone asked me, what do I think of the new John Coltrane live album? I'm not in a hurry to buy anything. And so that album has my interest, but I'm not in a hurry that I don't have to have it, but I'm interested in it. But I have the John Coltrane album to have, which is Cosmic Music, John and Alice Coltrane. This is an original that I've had since the 70s. And this is also a cool story. Will Smith was a writer for Downbeat magazine, but he also wrote for the local newspaper here in Omaha. He was an Omahan. My dad and I, for a while, were security guards at the newspaper, and one day Will comes down and tells us, a friend of his is selling his collection, and do we want to take a look and buy stuff? So just like in a movie, we go down into this dark parking lot, and we're digging through records in this man's trunk of his car. And I bought a bunch of stuff, and when this record came up, I just kept going, but Will stopped me and said, "No, you must buy this record. You have to have this." He would not let me not buy it. He said, "You'll understand." Or he probably said something like that. But I got it, and I got it for like maybe $25. This is an original first pressing of Cosmic Music by John Coltrane. Yeah, this is a grail item for many people. And I love the music, not just the collectability of it. So there's that. Another good memory is of Rahsaan Roland Kirk. Is there one I can just grab? Yeah, here's one I can grab. I don't have a lot of his records. I need to get more, but here's one. Rahsaan Roland Kirk, and came by and visited us one time. I was maybe about 13 at the time of this visit. Maybe I was that old. But what I remember about the visit was that two things. Rashaan didn't smell good. He had bad body odor, and he was loud. He talked loud. So he was kind of scary to me a little bit. But he was trying to show my dad some techniques on how to play two horns at once in our living room. So that's another interesting one for you, okay? There's more. Played this all the way through yesterday. Hadn't played it in a long time. Guitarist Elaine Marcusfeld. Le Desert Noir. Interesting music. I guess it's progressive, but not exactly progressive. It's all instrumental, and it's about his technique, which is almost like flamenco. Really good, and I love that album cover. Here's one that possibly I got through Chris Cole, possibly. If you see this, Chris, hello. And hello, everyone. I'll say it now. Again, it's like, you folks mean something to me, but I've always been like this in my personal life, where it's like I don't have to be clingy, or I don't have to always be talking to you, or always being reassured that we're friends. I've just always been like that. So hello, everyone, and thanks for being here. And I do love you all. I do. I'm just kind of detached like that. Some folks really have a need to be seen and reassured and talk to people, and I don't. I can go a long time without seeing you, and you're still my friend. So I think I got this through Chris Cole, possibly, who I still consider a friend. If not, this makes me think of him. This is the kind of stuff that he likes. Proteus, Infinite Change, obscure small label short run records. I always associate that with Chris. This is fusion jazz rock. Chicago, it looks like. And the playing is good, and the compositions are good. It's not too cheesy. This is actually pretty good. Infinite Change. So it's playing that. So that's where I'm at too. Oh, I'll share some more. Ian, if you happen to see this, your Colorateurs CD, it strikes me that two things. That is very personal, that what you have to say about yourself, the way this starts about going to a black steeple church, it does appear to me, or it strikes me, that the most important thing that you're sharing is something about yourself through these songs and this music. to me, musically, it takes a while to get going because the music to me strikes me kind of like it's just okay. So, say, I have to be honest about this stuff, and I know people want to hear good things about their stuff, and this is heartfelt. And I can already see online in music groups where people have gotten their copies, and some folks really like this. So take that and run with that. There's some folks who will probably really like this. The one reference that comes to mind with Ian's vocals is John Greaves, who was in Henry Cow. Kind of strikes that first tune, vocally strikes me like that. I think the coloratura is worth you checking out and investigating and finding out if it's for you. Okay, I'm about to turn my studio on and get to work on this bass part.